Shortly after the qualifying race, it was announced that Reed Weber Jr., who drives the number 165 car for Jaguar Racing, had failed a drug test. Officials did not disclose what he tested positive for, but he was placed on indefinite suspension, which means he will be out of that car. It is believed that ARLA Thunder Trucks driver Holden Roberts will take over that ride for the remaining 3 races in preparation for a full-time campaign in 2011. Speaking of the Thunder Trucks, Norman Lebold, who drives the 00 in that series, also failed a drug test this week and has been placed on indefinite suspension as well. And now, on to the race. Thank you, Earl. Dale Underwood led the field to the green flag at the Blue Ridge 150, the 17th race of the 2010 ARLA Elite Series campaign. Ricky Flush, who won at Mosport last week, started on Underwood's outside, and in third is Olivier Martinez. Very good qualifying effort for that team. But not long after the start, Underwood's going to come under attack from Joseph Howard in the 17. And right behind Howard is Joey Harrison in the 100, followed by Lucas Hunter in the 01 on the inside line. And then Joey Harrison's going to have a go at the lead in the number 100 Cuvette for Motor Assault Racing. Other than a recent top 10 finish at Watkins Glen, Harrison has not had the best of luck here in the ARLA Elite Series, and in fact, he even said a while back that he would like to step out of that car after the conclusion of the season. Harry Inola and Todd Stater are going to tangle coming off of turn 2. They make contact and drag each other onto the apron. That could have been a very big crash, and I'm sure nobody wants that this early in the race. Todd Stater was penalized after Mosport last week for careless driving. He had to start this race 25 positions further back than where he qualified. Chris Johans triggers the first incident on lap 6. He drifts up into Wesley Savage in the 6, taking several other cars with him, including Jared Anderson and debutante driver Dan McKay in the Griesberger 9 car, Earl McDermott, Andy Pearson, James West, among others. Ricky Flush in the 31 is going to get tagged by McKay in the 9. He gets knocked down onto the apron. He tries to merge, but CJ Dejao doesn't let him back onto the track, and he goes up into the wall and out of the race. He almost gets clobbered by Sean Donnelly in the 08. Andy Pearson was second in points coming into this race, but Leslie Riggs gets turned into the 2, who then gets into the 69 of James West, taking them both into the wall. There's Sean Donnelly spinning. Scott Morales in the 76 leads on the restart, with Jamie Flock in the 09 right behind him. Flock, a Canadian touring car driver, was called in to replace Jason Teller at Tundra Racing after Teller was injured in a car accident. He will drive that car for the remainder of the season, but we don't know if he's planning on doing anything in ARLA next year. Like Todd Stater, Brenda Riggs in the 67 was penalized after careless driving at Mosport. She had to start in the rear of the field, but she's worked her way up to the front, though now she's under attack from her daughter Allie Riggs, who won the qualifying race. And there is Todd Stater. Speaking of him, he's about to get by Brenda Riggs, allowing just about everyone else to start freight training the 67. Chris Johans and Wesley Savage are about to go a lap down. I'm surprised that Savage doesn't try to wreck the 164 since he basically ruined his race and several other drivers. But anyway, Johans and Savage start to hold up the rest of the field. They only let about 10 or so cars go. Jason Bates was third in points coming into this race, but he was also caught up in that lap 6 incident and holds up the leaders. He lets leader DJ Daniels by, and then there goes Dale Underwood, Shane Lake, and Bigsby Foot. This would trigger the second yellow. Legrell in the 46 gets into Scott Morales, putting Nami Moore and Joel Rodriguez into the wall, and sending several other cars spinning. Ricky Navarro piles into Kevin Monroe, and here comes the rest of the field. Amy Harrison slams into the 67 and goes over. Here's another look at Harrison. Oh, Bobby Porteau, your points leader, gets into Joel Rodriguez, and then Harrison slams into the 67 and goes over. Allie Riggs gets caught up in this, and so does Olivier Martinez. And here comes Leslie Riggs. She got into the 110 of Jared Anderson, bounced off the 102, and then got clobbered by Joey Harrison. Leslie Riggs committed to the bottom, but Jared Anderson was right there. She bounced off of the 102, and then gets hit by Joey Harrison and started spinning on a roof. Leslie Riggs has had some very hard hits this year, including an incident at Daytona where she suffered a concussion. There is no word on her medical condition nor Amy Harrison's. Dale Underwood led the field down pit road after a short red flag period. And Underwood would also lead on the restart with DJ Daniels in the 78 right behind him, as well as Bigsby Foot, who's giving that team a very good run so far. But another guy having a good run tonight is Bruce Wilkinson in the 7, who's given that team nothing but good runs this season. This is the third race this season he's attempted and qualified for, and he arguably has the best average finish of any driver this season. He had a 5th place finish at Quincy and then 2nd at Watkins Glen. Another guy running very well tonight is Anthony Griffith in the 211. That is the Big Bunny Racing car. After putting together some good finishes in his first races with that team, he kind of fell off the radar, but he's running up front again tonight. The last time we saw Robert Scott, he finished in the top 10 at Watkins Glen. And he's back tonight in his number 33 Evans Motorsports car after failing to qualify for Mosport. He definitely looks like he's on a mission tonight, trying to prove that his finish at Watkins Glen was no fluke. And he's currently running up with the lead group, so he's proving that so far. Jason Bates is going to get in the way of the leaders once again. Here they come. Dale Underwood and Leigh Gurrell get away, and so does Anthony Griffith. He moves into 3rd, but Bates holds up the rest of the field. However, coming off of turn 4, he's going to dive into the pits before he causes any further problems. Leigh Gurrell took the lead from Dale Underwood, but now he has Underwood and Anthony Griffith breathing down his neck. These 3 cars have a pretty good-sized margin, but you know how it works at these super speedway races. When just a few cars get ahead of the pack, they reel them in very quickly. That is Jeb Klinger in 4th with Scott Morales in 5th, and Dale Underwood is now going for the lead, which will slow that small group down even further. Jason Bates gets in the way once again. I believe he's going even slower than Derek Dudding was in the qualifying race, though to be fair, Jason Bates has quite a bit of damage, while Dudding was about 4 seconds off the pace with a clean car. Shortly afterwards, Joseph Howard, missing his hood, gets in the way. I believe he got caught up in the lap 6 incident. There goes Rachel Gonzalez by the 17. Gonzalez has needed a good run for a while now. At this point in the race, Lucas Hunter holds the lead over Bigsby Foot. The battle up front has gotten a bit tame with all the lapped cars, so Hunter can breathe easy for a while. And he's needed this kind of break for most of the season. He's had horrible luck after sustaining injuries in the rookie shootout, causing him to miss a couple of races. But regardless, his team owner Devin Rogers wants him back in that 01 car next year. Andy Pearson is now going to have his turn holding up the field. He lets Lucas Hunter go and holds up just about everyone else, which is really going to hurt Hunter in a few laps. Jason Bates is going to get in the way for the 4th time today. DJ Daniels and Eric Jackson get away, so do Bigsby Foot, Scott Morales, and Anthony Griffith. Eric Jackson, the former Team Master Cup Series driver, has had some pretty shaky luck in his first few races with Gravity Racing Inc., but now he seems to have gotten his act together and has been consistently running up front and putting together good finishes. And now it looks like he's on his way to another good finish, trying to chase down DJ Daniels for the lead. You might have seen 2 slow cars ahead of the leaders. Well, here they are, Allie Riggs and James West. They are about to go a lap down. This is actually a position battle for, I believe, 21st or so. So I think they're more focused on fighting each other instead of yielding to the leaders. Groves Racing teammates DJ Daniels and Scott Morales are now 1-2. Scott Morales, as you may remember, won Daytona at the beginning of the season. It's the 3rd year in a row that Groves Racing won the season opener, and team owner Ken Groves reportedly wants both Daniels and Morales back in those cars next season. Here's a novel concept, Jason Bates getting in the way. However, this time the field is able to get by him a little more quickly, though Lucas Hunter would probably argue with that statement. And you probably see towards the back, Robert Scott coming up on these guys who actually lost the draft a while back. Bigsby Foot would also lose the draft. Tough break for him. He had a very nice run going. However, he's still in contention for a spot in the top 15, so this is not a complete disaster for Foot. Battle up front is starting to heat up. DJ Daniels has taken the lead back from Scott Morales, but he's got a very hungry pack right behind him. Scott Morales is going to get a slight run through turn 3. DJ Daniels lets him in, and Scott Morales is going to take the lead back. Jason Bates is going to get in the way for the 6th time tonight, and here come the leaders. Shane Lake and Rachel Gonzalez actually make contact with the 51. That could have been a disaster for the leaders. This time, Jason Bates would be called to the hauler for his impeding. Then, shortly after that, Andy Pearson gets in the way once again, sliding up in front of Lucas Hunter and allowing Scott Morales to take advantage. You see, the lead group has been reduced to 6 cars because of all of the slower traffic. Todd Stater and Sean Donnelly are going to be the next cars to get in the way. Now, they haven't been as far off the pace as some of the other lapped cars, so this is the first time they're being put a lap down. Dale Underwood's going to get by the 150 with Scott Morales and DJ Daniels in tow. There is Shane Lake up in 4th. Good run for him so far. Guess who decides to crash the party for the 7th time tonight? Jason Bates. And this time, Rachel Gonzalez gets into the back of the 51. If she was frustrated with Bates, well, that wasn't a very smart way to take out her frustration. Gonzalez's car received some pretty significant damage, and that will throw her off the pace for the rest of the event. As the laps wind down, Joseph Howard will be the, thankfully, final lapped car the leaders come across. And if you look behind them, you'll see that Sean Donnelly and Todd Stater are actually keeping up with the leaders. So I guess they fell a lap down because they lost the draft, not because of their damage. With less than 10 laps to go, the battle for the lead would be between Lucas Hunter and Jeb Klinger. Hunter has yet to win a race in his Elite Series career, while the last of Klinger's victories came in 1978 before his wreck at Talladega, which put him on the sidelines for 30 years. Packer Carroll makes a move on Lucas Hunter coming down the back straightaway, but he doesn't have any drafting help. Carroll got his first win last season at Boston, and in the closing laps, Lucas Hunter would have a very comfortable lead. The battle behind him has been pretty tame, very much like earlier in the race when Hunter was leading. And coming to the white flag, Lucas Hunter still has the lead with Shane Lake in 2nd and Scott Morales in 3rd. But look behind the 01, that is Dale Underwood, who started on the pole and is now making a very big charge to the front on the final lap. He's got a lot of help from Jeb Klinger in the 66. Coming onto the back straightaway, Dale Underwood has tucked in behind Lucas Hunter, and there he goes to the inside. He's got a much bigger run going into the corner than Lucas Hunter does. And coming off of the corner, Underwood clears the 01, and Underwood from the pole will take his 6th career ARLA Elite Series victory. Lucas Hunter, while I'm sure thought a win would be very nice for that team, still gets his best finish ever. He just barely edges out DJ Daniels for 3rd. Jeb Klinger gets a top 5 finish. Good run for that team. Scott Morales finishes in 5th, keeping his hopes for the Rookie of the Year award alive. Eric Jackson puts together another good run for that 3 team, finishing 6th. Leigh Grell, who hails from Newfoundland, finishes 7th in front of the Canadian crowd. Packer Carroll finishes 8th. I believe that's his first top 10 in recent weeks. Shane Lake puts together another good run for that 155 team. He finishes 9th. And Rachel Gonzalez, despite her damage from contact with Jason Bates, rounds out the top 10. And now for your top 10 in points, Andy Pearson leads Bobby Porteau by 12 points. Jason Bates continues to run 3rd, 27 points back, though that may change if the officials give him a penalty for repeatedly holding up the field. Kevin Monroe is 4th, 78 points back. Packer Carroll, with his top 10 finish, jumps back up into championship contention. The most points you can gain or lose in this series is 100, and Carroll is only 90 points behind the leader. So don't count Carroll out for the 2010 title. However, the outlook for the rest of the top 10 is rather grim. Scott Morales is 6th, 139 points back. Kurt Walker is 7th. Jeb Klinger jumps up into the top 10. Interestingly enough, he's the only driver in the top 10 to have not made all 17 races. He's only made 15. Brenda Riggs falls to 9th, and Nami Mura rounds out the top 10.